what's up, guys? My
What
name
up?
is
What up?
I'm your boy Silk Reese here with your boy Barbara Shot the Guy, and we
What's
are the
up?
Rolling Stoners.
What's up? How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good. We got a good show for y'all tonight. We got a good one, man. Let me tell you about the other day. So I was in the barber shop getting my fade. You know how I do. Get my fade right. And it was a barber I ain't went to in a little minute. My brother Archie. Brother Archie, real nigga right there. So I was in the chair and this dude came in and was like, y'all trying to buy that new Medea movie. Now I don't really watch movies, so I ain't.
Which you mean the Boo Halloween?
Yeah, it's the holler wing. You know, she be like alert. You know, it's the heller wing, some shit like that. So I was like, nah, I ain't seen it. I don't really want to see it. I fuck with Tyler Perry,
You know,
but
it's one of the few movies that didn't bomb in the box office this fall.
I bet it's a Medea scary movie. I give Tyler Perry all the credit for trying this. Because,
Yeah,
I
you
mean, a lot
kind
of
of
people
have
wouldn't
to.
have took this shot. The only people that take shots like this are the Wayans brothers. So I get him for trying to, be on that level. But that movie,
Even some of the Wayans brother movies aren't really.
I mean, they're not supposed to be like the best movie ever. They're just making fun of a scary movie. Like,
it's a parody.
yeah, so I understand there. But anyway, going back to the point, we was both, my barber and me was both like, well, I ain't trying to watch that movie. So he said, all right, I got something for y'all. And he brought up, he said he got the new Nat Turner movie.
Birth of a Nation.
The Birth of a Nation, yeah. And I mean, I did want to see that movie, but I haven't gotten around to seeing it. I don't really like the idea of the movie. And Brother Archie went on to kind of elaborate on my point. He was saying basically that movie is a Hollywood movie despite it being directed by a black dude.
Written, starred in, and directed by the same dude.
Yeah.
He's talented as hell, by
That's
the way.
talented. I give him that. But somewhere at the top of that ladder lies a person who maybe didn't kind of wasn't in them shoes. You know what I mean? Telling the story as well.
Oh, so you really do think record executive had power to alter a story?
In a sense, yes.
Yeah, you are aware they don't just go down there. It's often like, hey, as producers, we're not comfortable with this. They have to greenlight that project to begin with.
And exactly.
And then again, when you look at things like 12 Years a Slave, I think they pretty much gave this guy free reign. From what most of the reason he says, he seems pretty proud of it. So they probably did give him about free reign to make this movie.
I mean, I just feel like regardless, it's gonna be, even taking race out of it, it's gonna be watered down too, just because like we're talking, this is a Nat Turner movie, one of the first or second Nat Turner movies. This is Nat Turner. Barack Obama has a movie in the making right now. He's alive to see his movie. Nat Turner was born in what? In the 1800s?
Oh, yeah, you're saying, of course, there's going to be some historical inaccuracies, some things.
Some.
Well,
Ain't nobody alive from that time period to tell this story.
Even if they were, who knows? They could still
It was
be
still,
embellished.
yeah, of course they're going to have to ad-lib some of it, but I just don't see how, they've waited so long to, like, make a movie about Nat Turner. He is literally one of our key symbolic figures of our history.
Yeah.
And now we have a movie on him. It's hard for me to watch that movie. I know what they were trying to do, but it can't be no credibility in it. It can't be.
Oh, no, it was directed by by Nate Parker. The screenplay was written by him.
This nigga Matt.
No, it's Nate Parker.
Oh, Nate Parker. Okay, he played Nat Turner. Nate. All right, got you.
Okay,
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, no, he also was the producer on the movie.
But I mean, it kind of goes to my point too. The sales of this movie are really bad, low key.
Oh no, because we kind of didn't go support the movie. That's just it.
Oh,
that's the only. That's one of the primary reasons why. Yeah, that's probably the primary reasons why.
I mean, but that's going to my point. Why didn't we support it then? Why didn't we support this movie? It's about Nat Turner. Like, this is like, Nat Turner is more symbolic than Martin Luther King in my eyes.
Well, hey, you are aware there was some controversy involving the guy who wrote, directed, and starred in this movie, Nate Parker. There was actually a good amount of controversy going into the film because
what happened?
Apparently when he was in college, him and a friend allegedly raped a girl, etc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Him and his friend raped the girl. Okay, Big Ben raped the girl. People still buying tickets.
Yeah, but
to go
this
watch
is
that
a
game.
movie. This is not an athlete.
I see what you're saying. I can. Do I need to find another one? Well,
And he, wow. Apparently, this guy also. Yeah, apparently he was also involved in the movie The Great Debaters.
oh, that's my movie. I ain't even gonna lie. That's my movie right there.
Yeah.
Forrest kind of made the movie, but that's my movie. But I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why. I guessed it was because we waited so late on the Nat Turner thing. Honestly, I was guessing that's kind of why. Maybe we waited too late, and it's a little watered down. People don't really want to drink it. It's some E&J. It ain't no Hennessy. You don't want to drink that.
Oh, nah.
Is that why?
No.
Or we just didn't go support it because the guy had a rape thing going on.
Oh, yeah, nah. That typically kind of happens.
Is that the only reason? I would honestly say a lot of people don't even know he got that going on.
Nah, some people don't, but some people.
I was actually unaware of that. I heard it before, but I was still unaware of like the details of it.
Yeah, some people just don't want to actually see something like that. So that's just another thing about it. Like, to some degree, when it's kind of obvious that subject matter isn't exactly. Well, it's not exactly like you said. It's not exactly super palatable for a lot of people. Some people don't want to see that, and it's actually a pretty graphic movie. This is a hard R film. Like,
Yeah, I thought that's what people wanted. I went and seen Jack Reacher. He breaking necks, breaking arms, legs.
how much blood did you see in that movie?
Nah, it wasn't no blood, but
Exactly.
you see
That's
some
not
bones
a
crack.
hard R movie. That's not actually described. That's not. Do you know what a hard R movie is?
I'm guessing blood since you just said that.
Yeah, blood and often a lot of sex and violence. That's kind of what was someone in this movie.
Well, shoot, this movie sound good.
Yeah,
What you
that's what I'm
mean?
trying to say. That was the
Blood,
controversial.
sex, violence. Boy.
Even
That's what we love.
Nah, it was pretty much a 1999 rape case involving.
So whenever
Nick
we
Parker
rap
kinda-
about blood, sex, and violence, boy, that be the biggest top seller on the radio.
and apparently the commute, then
You
apparently
would think everybody wouldn't seen this movie.
and the person and the woman that accused him actually later committed suicide. So.
Oh, now that'll fuck a nigga up. Boy. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
oh, I got you. That'll
Oh yeah, but even though he was acquitted, when this movie came out, there was actually a large controversy about that.
You can kind of
And
say that the reason he was acquitted is why she went ahead and said, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
Like, you might
Typically,
get,
when it's not a witness, stuff gets dismissed. So yeah,
wow. Well, I encourage y'all. I did see a little meme on social media the other day. It was talking about that Heller Wing versus the Birth of a Nation, and even though Heller Wing ain't doing all that great, it's still killing Birth of a Nation. And I'm just like, dang, that really tells a story right there, in its own right. But I mean, maybe that kind of tell what media. Maybe it doesn't receive enough media. Because I mean, like you said,
where media includes that film, right? Because media extends from the phrase medium, which includes books, TV shows, movies, etc.
and I understand that, but
Are you using it more? You trying to say
I'm using it more Fox, NBC, our national
news media? That
news
broadcast
media, social media,
no broadcast media. Like,
anything with media behind it, media is what I'm
including
referring
that
to.
movie. That's
Yeah, anything with media. You can put that movie, somebody could be watching that in another movie. And it still is advertising the movie. Is that what we need to do to get the movie out? What I just think it's watered down, honestly. That's the excuse I'm gonna use, I guess, for us, that we just waited too late to tell the great story of Nat Turner.
it's not necessarily
Malcolm
a great
X got a
story.
movie.
Like, that's just it.
Martin Luther King had that little kid movie with the
It's,
cartoon.
no, he actually had it did an entire miniseries.
I know.
Remember, it keeps showing on it's on BET like every February.
So I guess
And
we waited
it's
too
not
late
even
to.
February. Sometimes they show it like August. They show it a lot, but it's not necessarily us waiting too late to tell this story. It is that to some degree you kind of have to morally ask yourself the question: what Nat Turner did was right or right.
I mean, what choice did he have?
You don't truly understand. Do you know the entire story of Nat Turner? First?
I do know the gist of it.
Relay it back to me.
Why the heck? Now you tell me, smart guy.
No, I straight up want you to
You
relate
tell
that
me,
to
smart
me.
guy on Disney Channel. Go ahead.
It's not necessarily. Alright. First off, who Nat Turner was born a slave and was in Southampton, in Southampton, Virginia. He eventually became a preacher and taught himself how to read, and eventually over time he actually begins to tell other slaves that God actually told him to actually lead a rebellion, which honestly he does, and technically he's actually one of the few. He's honestly one of the few slave rebellions that actually get off the ground in the first place.
What the problem is?
No, the problem is
What's the problem? I don't see no problem here. He was a slave. You're mad at him for fighting back.
no.
That's what I thought happened. Yeah, to let y'all
You
know.
also gotta look at it.
Let y'all know. I knew that happened. Of
You
course.
also realize women and children got killed. Even people who may not have anything to do with it kind of got caught up in a crossfire.
That's what war is.
And
We
this
we just went on a 10 to 12 year war a
Oh,
few
no,
years ago.
no. Listen, but you also, let me go farther in the story before I get cut off.
Go ahead.
When he got captured, pretty much in that Southampton, even North Carolina, millions of us were essentially damn near genocidally wiped out kind of shortly. Even if slaves had nothing to do with it, they were killed anyway. Because it actually elevated. He elevated the level of paranoia. He also scared off a lot of abolitionists too, who actually went to going into the cause.
Also, first and foremost, that's hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. He didn't necessarily know that was gonna happen because it hadn't happened.
He probably wasn't thinking about that at the time.
Of course, he wasn't thinking about that.
No one was thinking about that at the time. But the consequences also led to a strict figure. It honestly started. You can honestly make the argument that. Yeah, you can actually make the argument that it pretty much accelerated the path towards a civil war.
Which is another good point.
You can legitimately make that argument. It accelerated that path.
Which is good. And this kind of goes back to something me and one of my coworkers.
I mean, it's a story that needs to be told.
It kind of go along with who was more right, Malcolm or Martin, by any means, or let's sit and preach. So it kind of what was the worst, lesser of the two evils that we had to go with. And honestly, I feel like if Nat Turner hadn't have done that, though it did kind of put us back. In order to take some steps forward, you got to take some steps back. That's the only way, because you learn through all those steps you taking back. You learn how to conquer.
No, he's not the only. Like I said before, he's not the only one that actually did it. That actually tried to do a rebellion. He's one of the few who's actually got off the ground. Because often other slaves would actually tell before it actually happened, and then a lot of them would probably were all essentially rounded up and executed. And in Nat Turner's case, when that happened, a lot of people, even slaves who had no idea who Nat Turner was, were just kind of rounded up and executed, even if they had nothing to do with it.
And I understand that.
But even Matthew McConaughey had a similar movie come out about. Remember, John Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, a similar movie like that actually came out too. I'm not. Did that movie do well?
Not really.
Yeah, I think the Civil War is a conflict we're not ready to truly face at this point. Because to some degree, you can honestly make the argument we're close to another one.
I mean, and sometimes, like I said, you do have to take some steps back in order to take some forward. And that, using that same argument, you do have Malcolm and Martin. They're on two polar opposites to their approach to segregation. And in both scenarios, a lot of people died. So I don't really see the point in saying Nat was wrong or anybody was kind of wrong, but just because a lot of people died, because it could have happened.
Oh no,
regardless, and would have happened.
I'm not saying he was wrong.
Oh,
I'm
no,
just saying
not
we need
wrong
to at least,
necessarily, but
we at least need to take a look at it and just kind of try to digest why this man flopped. And you just heard me say the John Brown story also kind of flopped too, so that kind of part of the reason I think it is because I think we're just not ready to face the Civil War the way we kind of should, especially when it kind of looks. Because it almost seems like in this country we have a hard time trying to look at race relations.
Yeah, I agree there. I club some people act like ain't nothing going on. What? Racism? Negro,
we have a
please.
black president. That's a horrible excuse. Cause that's just Honestly, that's the exception.
Who was it I read the other day
That
that
is a
said?
raw exception.
Oh yeah, Waka Flocka Flame said the other day that well I read it on social media, so I mean the credibility of it ain't 100, but
Oh, nah. More than likely, it's Waka Flocka Flame.
but he said President Obama ain't black, and I mean
What's his rationale for that?
I'm not gonna say this is why I brought it up. As kind of dumb as people like looked at him for that, this was the same argument that somebody else was making when Obama was running the first time, that he's not black. I've heard this countless times by people with a lot more credibility to the argument. So I mean,
Oh no, I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, he's mixed." That's kind of their argument. Now he's just mixed, but then again, you gotta look at this.
he could have been talking about his social, I guess, stature. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But Obama was raised in Chicago, so I don't know.
I think he was raised. No, he was raised partially in Kenya, in Africa.
Well, shit, you don't get no black in Africa.
Oh yeah, nah. Like, his father was in Africa. Like, his father was an African. Like,
you don't get no
to
black.
find his African heritage, he literally he taught his dad is there. That is literally it. Like he is kind of a lot closer than most African Americans are that are African heritage.
Well, Walker, I tried to be on your side,
about that story. Like
I tried to be on your side, Brody, but nah.
that's
Obama black as it can get.
Sign, like,
Obama black as you gonna get, boy. He got some white in him, but boy.
Like
his daddy is
from
the motherland.
He's one of the more purest former African American in this.
Yeah, that's true. But
what? Sorry, I kind of looked at. I kind of need to find out. Yeah, we're.
Oh shit. Well, we only on 17 minutes, 13 minutes. I guess we'll give y'all a little sports.
Not really. I kind of want to reflect on it, but.
Oh, we'll keep talking.
Hey, out there, like first off. All over the nation, early voting is taking place.
That's what the fuck you gonna talk about? Early voting?
Yeah,
y'all do need to get out and vote, though. I don't think your vote matters, honestly. I was taught that it didn't really matter.
No, most political science teachers kind of, a lot of them actually do say that. Most political scientists will say that the vote, to some extent,
political scientist, we always went with that your vote doesn't matter solely because your Congress and delegates, they do get a vote. So, but I'm not saying don't go vote. I just don't vote. Y'all ain't me.
Yeah,
so y'all go vote.
That's more or less just a reflection of the. That's more a reflection of the presidential election, like local elections. Oh my God, vote!
Yeah, those matter for real. I'm speaking solely on Hillary and the Donald.
Oh no, mean a lot. Your state and local elections mean a lot because they're honestly the closest form of government that you more than likely almost always truly feel. You feel your governor's presence more.
You feel all of it, but go ahead.
Yeah, you really do feel all of it, but to some degree, like a lot happens in state governments. A lot happens in state governments because you gotta realize states have powers that the federal government does not have. So it really is important for you to actually vote, and especially for your state and local guys.
That's true. And try to keep the Republicans out of that too, because honestly, they kind of.
Oh my God.
They've had North Carolina, especially. They've had going on at least 8 years now. I feel like I believe it's 8 years they've been in the chair.
Oh my God.
And y'all see how that come on. Our education funding is
horrible. Oh no, it tanked, man. It is so bad. Like it really tanked.
Especially, I don't want to just point it out to the black community, but I went to a black school, TWA. Shout out to them. But our funding was bad even when I was there, and it's still bad. Ain't nothing changed.
Oh no.
Southwest getting the whole school remodeled. We couldn't even get a roof.
Yeah, that kind of definitely happens for black high schools. Black high schools that typically get less funding, like it's almost incredible. Like, dude, segregation is still real, especially in our schools.
For real,
it is extreme in our society as a whole. It is still real. Like, it hasn't really dissipated because there is such a big cultural difference between. There's such a cultural difference between us. In the same breath, we're all the same race. We're all human beings.
That's true, but it's still honestly that mentality that they got us stuck in. Like when we be talking about slavery, I don't necessarily just be talking about the whips and the chains. I'm more talking about like that mental slavery that was really it. We were just discussing that earlier that we are feared more for our mental potential than actually our physical, which is also like the upper echelon.
That really is. That's why it was illegal to teach black people how to read, and even after slavery ended, and after Reconstruction period, a lot of the white governors, especially in the South and all over, pretty much scoffed at black people being potentially smarter than whites. It was always somewhat of a fear, and especially even up north, that's honestly where you see the most segregation in the school systems. You see more of it up north.
Yeah, you really do.
Even Malcolm X said that, like, you see majority of the segregation in our schools is up north.
You do, and really you see it in the fact that they have to buy, like, in black schools they put metal detectors in them, while the white kids, I don't necessarily want to say the white kids, excuse me.
Impoverished schools.
Well, the impoverished schools receive laptops and such. Things that help boost their education potential.
We don't really get that. That's just the thing. Like, because they're in...
But they bring the dogs to the...
Yeah.
They bring dogs and metal detectors to the...
Majority of the black and Latino schools are impoverished schools. So we do actually kind of need more to kind of somewhat come up, but we're not really necessarily getting that.
And we're not going to get it. That's the slavery mentality that...
In the same breath, it also cheats white kids because they don't get a chance to be around another culture, to be around a different individual other than yourself. It actually even kind of causes... Well, it actually kind of somewhat causes these stereotypes to be okay, or social norms with other races aren't being kind of learned by a lot of the white children in these scenarios.
Because it's a trade-off in every scenario, in every race. We can learn from each other. If we would put down the lines between each other and just learn from each other, we would get so much farther in life. Because it's every ethnicity, every person can learn something from the next person.
Exactly. Like that's one of the primary flaws with American culture. But honestly, the fact that we haven't really sat down and had a full blown discussion on race. That's kind of what needs to happen.
Until you quit, not you necessarily, until people quit sweeping it under the rug, it's not gonna. It's there. The dirt is under there.
Yeah.
Just quit sweeping it under the rug so people can't see it.
And often it's not even on. Honestly,
it's
on the rug. It's on the rug. You just like, man, that's nothing. That's just.
See, what we're doing is we're waiting till you're standing in the air from the dirt on the rug. That's what we're waiting on. Till you levitate it from the dirt, and then now you're really on the brink of a civil war.
Yeah, like that's
because people are now mad.
Yeah.
Excuse me, not mad. People are pissed off. We're slowly getting to that point where we are pissed off. Like,
yeah, and we got to the point where we also got to the point where I don't think if this election has taught me anything, it seems like people aren't really ready to talk anymore. You know,
they don't even want to bring up some race relations in sports. It's amazing. They don't.
And that's honestly amazing to me because, like, dude, you already the NFL is like 60% black and the NBA is like 80% black, right?
Exactly.
That almost makes that's what's
and I'm not even saying that it's just a definite race relation, but even with the stuff happening with Cam Newton right now, he was upset because the refs are treating him different. You know what those refs said to this man? Stop running the ball. Stop being different. But in other words, stop being black.
Yeah, it's crazy. They also said the crazy thing about that is like, you know where Andrew Luck literally does a lot of the exact same things, and they
throw the penalty like quick as hell.
Nah, when they literally said Andrew Luck has more missed calls. They say, oh, we don't give him the calls, but you get what you deserve, man. He doesn't get what he deserves. Isn't that weird?
You sure Andrew Luck doesn't get more calls than Cam Newton?
He probably gets more calls called for him, but the NFL come out and say they miss more of Andrew Luck's calls than they do Cam Newton's.
Of course they would say that.
And honestly, they say
does that not sound like something they should say?
Honestly, a debatable one is
let's go ahead
and get some of them calls, but that's because
check me out. It doesn't sound right or correct to go ahead and let's compare him to a white quarterback. I don't even think Cam Newton brought up race specifically.
He didn't.
Nobody has said anything about race except the people watching it really.
No one's really talking about race.
Well, I kind of did, but
they just said they don't protect Cam.
I can only speak for me. I was just solely talking about the
I know
league
a lot
MVP.
of football fans just openly say, yeah, they don't really protect Cam. No one's really sure why it doesn't happen, but they
say because he run, but I'm very surprised that the NFL brought that up. Like they immediately compared him to Andrew Luck.
No, they brought up 3 others. They brought, I think, Aaron Rodgers, and I think Big Ben got brought up, but Ben may be true. I do see him take a lot
Ben is
of
probably
hits.
true.
I see him take a lot.
But Ben notoriously is known for holding the ball.
No, but they also kind of compared that together. They say, well, Ben and Cam are similar.
They are. I agree.
They are very similar as far as they're really big guys who
hold the ball too damn long. Cam Newton.
Yeah,
he be holding that shit.
And at one point when Ben was younger, he would take off and run, but he doesn't really do that anymore.
I'm not saying it's a race relation necessarily there. I was just kind of seeing that comparison there.
Like, you see you see it, but the fact that, Ben may be true. And then Ben tackle said, Cam, you stop playing this. Then he said Ben get hit all the time, which is funny. The irony is so lost on him. The right tackle, remember Marcus Gilbert?
Yeah.
The irony of that statement is just so lost on why he gets hit so much time.
He said, Cam Newton, if you don't want to get hit, don't play. And I mean, that's true, because then they went and asked Russell. I was reading the other day, and Russell was like, said basically the same thing. Like, if I ain't want to play, I'll play tennis. And I was like, well, yeah. Cam Newton will play tennis.
Russell also get a lot of hits, but Russell's also a little bit more elusive, and he slides.
Well, I don't know. I'm excited about everything a little bit. The end of the football season. I'm excited to see how these movies turn out, especially because I feel like we're finally taking that. We're ready now to take that leap into turning these movies into something crazy, because there's a lot more stories to be told.
Yeah, especially within the black community, like
because our stories have never been told.
I feel like we haven't seen Frederick Douglass.
I was just about to bring
the real American hero, but why is there no Frederick Douglass movie? If there is, I'm really just blatant.
I read his book. That's my favorite book of all time.
His autobiography is amazing.
If you haven't read Frederick Douglass' autobiography, you're missing out. That shit is great. This Negro taught his damn self how to read. If that ain't
he didn't. He didn't. His white. I think his white. One of his white master's wife started teaching him how to read.
No, let me tell you how eventually. He tricked the white kids into teaching him how to read.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He gave them food, because turns out he actually had more food than some of the white kids.
They were taught to not teach him anything.
At the end of the day, if I'm starving and he has food, I will tell you everything I can. But then
that's what I'm saying. He tricked them.
That's not really tricking. That's more of a...
Really, nigga? Are you about to argue this shit? I understand you feel like you have to be on the other side of the spectrum to me. I fuck with it. But this one, you don't have to argue. He tricked them guys.
That's not really a trick.
I'm going to give you this food. I don't care what your daddy said. Tell me everything you know.
Yeah, no, and apparently they became good friends with the guy. So, yeah.
Though that his parents opposed him doing everything he was doing, being a good friend with him was not a good idea either.
Oh, nah, that's why in his autobiography he says, I'm not going to disclose their names because I don't want to shame them.
Exactly. Shame them.
No, he didn't say it was friend. He didn't really say it was trick. He said apparently, even in his own words, he eventually made friends with those kids. They taught him everything he could. Then eventually, when he started working in the shipyard, that's when he started teaching himself how to write.
Anyway, back to the damn point. Frederick Douglass, you haven't read that, read it. He is truly, him and Nat Turner lead the way as far as our heroes.
No, Nat Turner Nat Turner did what he did can actually be viewed, and you can view that in a negative light, especially in hindsight. But Frederick Douglass, you really can't.
I don't even like that statement you just said.
I mean, it can be. You gotta look at it from a moral perspective.
When you add with hindsight, you can't count that because you using your hindsight. He didn't have that.
Nah, but that's how history remembers things. History remembers things differently than when they occur.
Through hindsight, yes.
Yeah, we remember.
If that's the case, then If that's the
We
case, then
don't-
we wouldn't have had no wars.
No.
Because in hindsight, a lot of people died in all of them except the Cold War.
Yeah, nah. The Cold War involved
In
Vietnam.
all of them.
In Vietnam was a disaster. So, yeah, you can actually make the argument that nearly every war, the only one I think that will never be viewed in negative light is a Revolutionary War. Or the first man to die for America's freedom was a black man.
And that sound like it won't be remembered bad. That's why right there.
Oh, nah, it almost never is. No, black people will remember this as like, wait a minute, we fought and died for nearly
For something
every
that
war,
didn't give a
and
damn about us.
Yeah, we got shit, and we still getting shitted at every turn. That's why I remember
2016,
like,
we
this is why I
still getting
remember
shitted
like
on.
this, like,
And we fought in
that's
every
why we
war for
still
something
remember
we
that.
ain't.
Like, wait a minute. We actually fought for war. At some point, I think the government pretty much said, hey, if you fight in this war, you get your freedom. Which it did happen, but they still didn't get citizenship or right to vote. But, hey, I'm not in chains anymore. Yay. I mean, you gotta play that way. Hey, I may be a second-class citizen right now, but I'm not being whipped.
I'm 3/5 a damn person, but fuck it. My back don't hurt no more. Yeah, this fucked up.
Yeah, nah, it's fucked up, but that's sad and kind of true as hell. At the same time.
3/5 a damn person.
Oh my god! But still, yeah,
Yes.
Frederick. Going back to it, Frederick Douglass is honestly a true American hero. I place him way higher than Abraham Lincoln, who's planning to send free black people to Africa. It was the pestering of a man.
Way higher than they got Donald Trump right now.
Oh yeah, nah, and it was the
They got this nigga on a pedestal. Like he is the Republican savior.
No, it's not necessarily. The Republicans actually hate him with a passion.
No. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about his supporters.
No, his base, yeah,
he is winning right now.
No, he sells them nationalism like hell.
He's winning.
Yeah, it's just early.
I understand that. Donald Trump. I don't know if y'all heard me. Well, y'all might not be listening right now because we ain't
Part
live.
of the reason he's winning is
he's winning. I never thought I would be able to say those words.
No, and it's all happening because of the Anthony Weiner email scandal. Oh my god!
When I say tomorrow I'm applying to be a doctor because apparently in the United States of America you can have no experience in doing something and still might get the job. Apparently.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I will be a brain surgeon.
Hey, bro, if you I understand.
Damn, that ain't about to be no.
In the
brain.
presidential election.
That's crazy though. Honestly, that was just a bad joke. But that's crazy though to me.
Voting's out there, man.
So y'all really do need to go vote because if this Negro win, I know we done
God.
joked about it before. Earlier we was joking because I ain't really think he could win, but this Negro is winning right now.
Oh no, like I said, it's happening because of the email scandal the FBI brought right back up when they actually.
And let me tell you
it's actually
something.
an unrelated case, dude. You know where they were looking into if Anthony Weiner was sexting an underage girl, and it just so happened to include things that may involve Clinton.
Let me tell y'all something about these emails. I never seen anywhere where a person can literally apologize for Hillary knows the emails were bad. They bringing up her emails too, not just his. Hillary knows she messed up.
Nah, cause to some degree, I think his wife was one of Hillary's type aides. That's part of the reason he's kind of gotten involved in this when they were looking to see if Anthony Weiner was sexting an underage girl.
And
somehow
Hillary had
linked
something
to
to do
Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
Boy, the United States, America.
And the timing of it is just kind of what's causing this to happen. The fact that this happened right before the election, during early voting, and right before election day, which in all honesty should be a national holiday.
Boy,
I still do not understand why that's not.
I only can picture Donald Trump's face when he read this came out. Boy, I can only picture that shit.
It was probably that creepy, pervy grin.
Yeah, that purge like grin. Yeah, that.
Oh my god, the timing of this was just.
I just still don't see how this guy can how do you support this man on a political standpoint? How every time I ride through a neighborhood and I see Trump signs, I'm looking at the house like, I hope y'all know A, I'm gonna remember your house. B, how the hell did you get the courage to put that sign in your yard?
No, because dude, Trump he sells feelings. He sells the feelings of nationalism. He sells the feelings that
feelings of nationalism, dude.
He sells this to white Americans that
he's selling them. He's gonna make America great again. When the heck was America so great?
Oh no, that's the prime question. You ask any of his supporters, the answer they give you is typically for some reason when women couldn't vote, or when black people were enslaved, or Jim Crow.
I'm sitting here like the only
time
I can think of this shit ever being kind of great was maybe during Clinton's era, in which I feel like that would only make you want to pick Clinton because husband, wife. Other than that, the 50s, we weren't pretty much shit. They didn't pay us anything.
That's when the Brown versus Board of Education thing happened with 54, and they began to integrate schools.
But still in the 50s are like the
minimum. Oh no, Jim Crow was still rampant.
Jim Crow, boy, he was on a freaking horse.
Lynching was still kind of out there.
It ain't even that ain't where they hurt us. Well, yeah, they kind of hurt us by hanging us, but
yeah,
where they got us was in our pockets. They weren't paying us anything for our work.
Oh yeah, nah, they really didn't pay black.
We were like indentured servants in the 40s.
Sharecropping was still a thing at the time in the 50s.
So yeah,
then you also gotta look at wasn't that also the era where everyone would essentially accuse you of being a communist for no reason?
Yeah, that was during the Cold War.
Yeah, the McCarthy period. Yeah, the McCarthy.
So we were more focused on Nazis than we were anything at that time. So I guess that's when America was great again. We were scared we were going to get nuclear bombed at any minute. I guess that's when they were talking about. I really don't know when they were talking about. I still don't know.
You occasionally hear some people say the 80s with Reagan. But that's also
Ronald Reagan era. Gee, we got a lot to say about that one that I ain't even trying to go into.
Oh no, that's an entire another episode. Honestly, this whole conversation is belongs in a whole nother episode. Was America ever great?
So maybe be looking out for a part 2 for this one, cause this shitty ass America wasn't never great, man. I love America. Psych.
Let me phrase it. I love the idea of America.
I hate the idea of America.
No, I love the idea of
the stuff. What you're saying, the stuff that they think America is?
Yes, right.
The melting pot.
I love the idea of what we're supposed to be. Most
definitely.
Packaged us that we are. We have never been remotely close to that at all.
Not even close. Not even.
We have not been remotely close. But that's why I love the idea of America is beautiful. The idea of America is the greatest place in the world. But what we are is just not that. And that's just it. That's honestly what I feel our biggest issue is. We never truly have been that. There isn't really a great again for us. It's only a be great.
And that's very true. Hopefully we do get to that point. I'm very confident in everything that Miss Clinton has to offer. So once again, guys, go vote. Don't be like Bobby.
Yeah.
Don't be. And normally I wouldn't even say that. Don't be like me though. I'm not gonna go vote just because I honestly don't believe it's worth it. I honestly feel like they already know who the president is.
No, dude, you have to vote. You go register.
I'm honestly tell you what's in my head. They know the president already.
No, we can give Pat McCrory the finger, man. Like I really hate this dude.
They know.
You don't understand how much I hate Pat McCrory.
It's already been set in stone.
I have a personal beef with him, but then again, the Republican friends I talked to, they even say they vote for Roy Cooper because they just don't like Pat McCrory.
At some point, you jacked everything up so bad, like Bush.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Bush jacked stuff up so bad he was gone. Pat McCrory's in that same boat.
Oh literally. My God!
North Carolina's in shambles, dude.
Like so many people are
word up.
Screw man. Pat McCrory, man.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think is gonna happen with the pipeline blowing, the Colonial Oil pipeline blowing up?
I don't know. I might just be a conspiracist, but I honestly feel like
first off, rest in peace to those who were injured and that guy who was killed.
Oh, I'm glad you said that before I said my point.
Yeah, first off, like people, let's be honest, people did die in that explosion.
That's true, but I honestly feel like they're doing that on purpose. Somebody, somewhere, because you getting so much money off. Do you remember the last spike? Dude, last time this shit happened, I was at the gas station and the shit went up 30 cents.
Oh yeah, I seen that too. Nah,
I'm literally about to pump gas. When I paid for it, it was like $2 $250 or something like that.
It wasn't $250. It was cheaper than that, like $205.
It was like maybe $205. When I got to the pump, I'm talking about mid stride, got to the pump. That shit was $250, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm talking before I even unplug the cap, but yeah. So I feel like somebody doing this shit on purpose.
Oh no, you know what's the crazy thing about it? Where actually
Exxon, check them, look them out, look on them.
Now, well, you are where most state experts say that the fact that people rush out to get gas is actually what causes the gas prices to skyrocket. The supply instantly goes up when you know
supply
that
and demand.
Yeah. When it's, oh my god, that is honestly like, but still, barring off that laughter, we do might want to take a quick moment of silence for the people who did lose their life in the explosion at the pipeline.
Yeah.
Well, that couple seconds of silence actually really did clear things up, but especially before you start making white noise.
Is that, you know, that fuck, it's a hot moment.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is just becoming something incredible. So, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Alright, what time look like? Did we really go over 10 minutes? When I last looked, we was on. Oh well, it's been a good show. It's been a good show, y'all. I hope y'all got some good shit out of that. Yeah. We hopefully gonna have a part 2 to this, because I feel like this was a dope ass episode.
Oh yeah. It also, we're all gonna have a full blown episode where we talk about. Well, it happened in February. Where we talk about the history of black leadership and how we truly feel their impact was. Frederick Douglass, we might have an entire episode about him at one point.
As cool as that'll be, nah, we gotta incorporate something else. Frederick Douglass.
But, I mean, you heard me say we're gonna talk about black leadership over time.
Are you pausing?
No.
Nigga, pause it.
Alright, deuces.